guys, this is Aquifel, and yeah, well, the SummerSlam review, I uploaded that yesterday, and of course, I want to talk about the G1 Climax and by New Japan Pro Wrestling, because that's one of the biggest things, or most likely the biggest tournament in the wrestling business each year. And yeah, first of all, I'm sorry that I have to do this so late, because when the tournament occurred, I wasn't able to really follow it because my brother was in the hospital, and I had to go there and help him do some stuff because he couldn't do it himself at that moment. So yeah, family and private life comes first before these videos. I'm sorry, but yeah, as I promised, I want to do this review, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to give you a short overview over the tournament and review not every single day, because that would totally take too much time, especially now. And I want to give you some highlight matches, because each year the G1 Climax in these 3-4 weeks, New Japan delivers more 4 to 5 star matches than the WWE does the whole year. So it's always worth watching. And now it's the question how suspenseful it was, how thrilling it was. And yeah, Block A, best example for a last-second finish. We had here Hiroki Goto, Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Bad Luck Fail, Naomichi Marufuji, Tamatonga, Togi Makabe, Sanada, one of my picks. Yeah, well, he didn't make it. Tomohiro Ishii and Hiroyoshi Tenzan in this block. And well, come the last day of Block A, day 17, it was Hiroki Goto, 10 points, Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Bad Luck Fail, and Naomichi Marufuji, all with 10 points. And that's really close. As Bad Luck Fail and Marufuji lost their matches, Hiroki Goto got in the lead with 12 points. Now we had Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada with 10, and yeah, well, those guys fought to a 30-minute time limit draw, 11 points each, and Goto advanced to the finals. And that's how you really do that. Do a tournament in a great way. You know, if Tanahashi and Okada, if I'm not completely wrong here, the guy who would have won this one would have advanced to the finals. And they fight to a time limit draw. It's a great match, and it's a match I will talk about in the next minutes. But Block A, really suspenseful, great stuff. Block B, quite similar. We had Kenny Omega, Tetsuya Naito, Michael Elgin, Katsuyori Shibata, Katsuhiko Nakajima, Toru Yano, Evil, Tomoaki Honma, Yuji Nagata, and Yoshihashi in this block. And yeah, come the last day, Shibata was at 10 points, Elgin was at 10 points, Tetsuya Naito was at 12 points, and Omega was at 10. Those 4 really made it close, because after Elgin and Shibata lost, it was obvious that Naito with a win, or it was obvious before, if Naito won, he would advance to the finals. Kenny Omega knew that if he won his final match against Tetsuya Naito, he would advance to the finals, and obviously that's another last match. In the last match, it was still not clear who would advance to the finals, and that's just perfect booking. And Omega, to my surprise, won and faced Hiroki Goto in the finals and won that one too. And yeah, it becomes more and more apparent that each leader of the Bullet Club becomes an absolute MVP in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So the Omega Naito match, of course, I'm going to talk about that too in the next minutes. Just awesome. So we have had a lot of awesome matches in this really great tournament, and yeah, I want to give you some highlights. As I mentioned, some must-see matches from this tournament, and yeah, well, let's start. Well, this whole 3 or 4 weeks are filled with good matches, great matches. There are tons of them. Dave Meltzer gives more stars during the G1 Climax than he does for WWE, for example, the whole year. So obviously there are a lot of great matches, and yeah, I want to focus on 5 of them, my 5 favorite matches from this year's G1 Climax. And the first was on day 4, Tetsuya Naito versus Michael Elgin, or Elgin, I still don't really know. It's the classic powerhouse versus more technical, speedy guy. And yeah, Elgin with his power moves, he can overwhelm almost anybody on the New Japan roster. And he really plays that. He has tons of powerful impact moves. And yeah, Tetsuya Naito, obviously he can compete with that. And yeah, more than once, he really has clever counters and uses his agility and technique to really counter all this by Elgin. And yeah, we haven't seen that in that manner thus far, or as often thus far. So great match. Really loved the powerhouse versus technician, or not really high flyer, the technician stuff. And yeah, well, in the end, Naito won this match. And yeah, I really loved it. My next highlight, and the first 5-star match of this tournament, and every year there are 5-star matches. New Japan obviously doesn't have that much of a problem creating 5-star matches, especially compared to WWE. Tomohiro Ishii versus Kazuchika Okada. There were a lot of good matches that came close. For example, Tanahashi versus Ishii, which was great, but not in my top 5. But this match, it was just fucking phenomenal. I got the feeling 3/4 of this match were what would have been the finish sequence in almost any other match. They had an incredible pace. They had tons of near falls, tons of attempts to hit their finishers, tons of attempts to hit the decisive move, and all in vain, at least for that moment. And yes, it was just fucking phenomenal. And in the end, Ishii won. But it was just such a great match. I really don't have that many words for it, because you just have to watch it. It's probably one of the best matches of all time, and in my opinion, one of the hottest contenders for the match of the year. Another great match, and we're close to the end of the G1 Climax, was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada. The final match of Block A, and it was set in stone that the guy who won this would advance to the finals. The guy who lost this would be out. And what did they do? Deliver a 30-minute time limit draw, and both were out, and Hiroki Goto advanced to the finals. But let's face it, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada, there's not much to be said here. They against each other, they are incapable of having a good match. They always have great matches. It's probably what in the 80s. In the 80s, it was Flair versus Ricky Steamboat, and this is 2000 or the 2010 version of that. Whenever they face each other, it's just fucking phenomenal. They always deliver, and with the added drama of one of them having to win in order to advance, and the time limit, it was just a perfect match. And well, they are incapable of having anything less than a great match, so no need to say more. Well, as thrilling as the finish to Block A was, of course, Block B, same thing here. Naito was in the lead with 12 points. It was obvious after the other matches that if he won or had a draw, he would advance to the finals. And Kenny Omega, in case of him winning, would be in the finals. And obviously, it was a very, very close encounter. And, well, I don't really have any words for it. Again, it was the second 5-star match of this tournament. And yeah, well, you have to see it to believe it, so to speak. It was just fucking awesome. They came very close to the time limit, and yeah, they just hit each other with everything they got, and it's just yeah, you really didn't know and couldn't tell, would Naito win, would Omega really pull it off and steal this one from under Naito's nose, as it's just phenomenal. And Omega, who, yeah, up until 1 year ago or so was a goofy mid-carder, and yeah, he was good in the ring, we all knew that. Well, he now is a legit superstar, and yeah, this performance and the performance in the finals, just plain awesome. Watch it. I don't want to recapture every match by telling you the story, telling you the moves they hit on each other. Just watch it. It's really worth it. And yeah, well. Well, what would be the perfect way to end such an awesome tournament? Of course, an awesome final match. And yeah, well, Kenny Omega and Hiroki Goto, well, they are two guys who are able to pull it off, and of course they did. I have already mentioned that Kenny Omega won the tournament, and for him it was, yeah, there were high stakes. Some people may have doubted that he is the guy to lead the Bullet Club, especially after Prince Devitt / Finn Balor left, and AJ Styles. And AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and you just cannot easily replace him in such a stable. And yeah, Omega with this win has proven, and his performances throughout the tournament has proven, that he can fill that hole, and that he is at the moment by far the ideal leader for the Bullet Club, and that he is a legitimate superstar. And he's the first Gaijin to win this tournament. Up until now, only Japanese stars have won it. So, huge kudos to him, or for him. Goto, on the other hand, and that's what made this match so special and so thrilling in the end. They hit each other with everything they got, and well, we had a slower build-up, very meaningful build-up, and then they went all out, and yeah, both guys really didn't want to lose this match, because Goto, his stakes were, they even had a storyline for Wrestle Kingdom this year, that he is the guy who always comes so close to winning the title. He had a lot of title matches and he has lost them all, and this would be this could have been his perfect way back to the top, to another huge title match at Wrestle Kingdom, one he might have finally won. But, well, the stakes were high, and, of course, in the end, it was a very suspenseful and thrilling match, and, well, just plain awesome. The performance problems Goto had at Wrestle Kingdom, none of it showed here. Anyway, it was a great tournament, as every year, and this was a perfect way to finish it off. So, I hope you liked my review, and I would be happy if you tuned in for the next stuff that will come. I think, what's the next pay-per-view that will come? I think it's WWE, one of the WWE tournaments. Whether it's WWE, New Japan, or whatever, I would be happy if you tuned in for the next previews, reviews, whatever. So long.